Outburst, a Todd Mills Mystery, Book 4. Author, R.D. Zimmerman. Publisher, Scribble Pub, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 1998. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 2. As soon as the elevator chimed and the doors eased open, the man rushed out of the lift and down the hotel hall. His wet head bowed, his chest heaving. He reached into the pocket of his jacket, felt for the plastic room key, pulled it out, and then slipped it into the lock of his room and opened his door. Shit, he was wet for nothing. Had prepared him for the ferocity of the storm. In fact, he thought, carefully locking and bolting the door behind him. He was as wet as if he just jumped into a swimming pool. They rarely had storms like that where he came from, and certainly not with that kind of thunder and lightning. Water dripped onto the maroon carpet from his raincoat as he hurried past the sleek bathroom, past the sliding mirrored door of the closet, and into the spacious room that was lined on one side with a single huge window. His hands shaking, he pulled off his coat and dropped it on the edge of the messy bed, then made directly for the dark wooden desk, where he pulled open a center drawer. He grabbed a piece of the Hotel Redmont's tasteful stationery, reached to the top of the desk for one of the hotel's ballpoint pens, then hesitated. One single moment. Yes, he thought. His heart thumped. His head pounded. There'd been no other choice. He had to be enterprising. Yes, enterprising. And so with trembling hands he scribbled it down. GMF. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And he wrote it down again and again. GMF. 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 Satisfied that he'd done everything right, he dropped the pen and turned to the window, which was sealed as tight as a fish tank. Lifting aside the thin white curtain in front of the glass, he looked out at the clearing skies, at the strong light bursting through the clouds. No one had seen him down there by the river, had they? No, he was positive. The dark energy of the storm had blotted everything out, provided the perfect shield. Still, he had medium brown hair, skin that tanned easily, and a thick shadow of a beard which he'd shaved once in the morning and trimmed up again with an electric razor before dinner. His broad shoulders made him look bigger than he really was, but he wasn't overweight. Not by any means. With a tight waist and trim but strong legs, he was still in great shape, particularly for his mid-30s, which was the primary reason he'd been able to make it back here so quickly. He'd all but run the entire way from the Mississippi. Letting the curtain fall, he turned to the king-size bed, started toward it, then froze, staring at the sheets and blankets that were kicked and pushed and shoved this way and that. Jesus Christ. Just a mere hour or two ago, the two of them had been in this bed, kissing and groping and sucking. Two sex-starved men feasting on flesh and seed. Only now did he see how horrible it was. How stupid. The meeting, the act, the fuck. If only he'd been able to resist. If only he'd been able to bottle up the temptation and stuff it away. To abstain once and for all. And forever. But no, he hadn't been able to stop himself. Nor the sin. Shaking his head, he thought it again, chanted silently. GMF. And then it happened. The phone rang. Glancing at his watch, he knew exactly who it was. Knew that she'd be calling to check on him. Yes, he'd made it back just in time. As he reached for the phone, hesitant, yet knowing he had no choice but to answer the damn thing, he couldn't help but think, dear God in heaven, why had he ever fallen in love with a beautiful young man by the name of Mark Forrest? A Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. and in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.